Servus Männer, it's Red Pill Germany again, and today I am on the marketplace in Magdeburg, Sachsen-Anhalt. Normally there would be very much business here. It would be a very busy marketplace normally at that time of the year. It's Christmas market. I'm pretty sure it would be swarming with people who would all be drinking Glühwein, having a good time, but everything is closed now. There are hardly any people here. Some people are taking some pictures with these illuminations that are here, but overall it is empty, and all the booths that would normally sell food and drinks, they are also closed, as you can see here. Magdeburg is the capital of Sachsen-Anhalt, and this is also where the state parliament is located. It is actually right behind me, behind the cathedral, the Magdeburger Dom, that used to be a Catholic church, of course, but now is a Protestant church. Magdeburg has a very rich history, but maybe more about that in an upcoming video. Today I want to talk more about the political situation and what is going on here at the moment. Behind me you saw the cathedral, and this yellow building here, that is actually this building here, white and yellow, that is the Landtag, so the state parliament. And in this state parliament, it is the faction of the CDU party that does not want to vote in favor of a increase of our public broadcasting fee. It's like 80 cents per month or something. Not that much, but I don't think that it is about these 80 cents. It is about the principle that we shouldn't just tolerate it, that the public broadcasting service is ignoring not only Eastern Germany for the most part. The Central German public broadcasting service is also very close to me here, MDR. But that is much smaller than all the Western German broadcasting services like SWR, BR and so on, NDR, and that is one thing, but also of course not just the regional thing. Not only certain regions get misrepresented and neglected, also conservative people and patriots as a whole, they get neglected and they are shown in a very negative light. And this is also why people here, especially in Sachsen-Anhalt, I think, are not very happy with that. And many of them prefer, just like the AfD for example, they prefer that this public broadcasting would be radically reformed, or that you could opt out of it, maybe, that it's up to you. So as of now in Germany, as I said many times, every household has to pay. If you have an address, you pay. No matter if you watch TV or listen to public radio shows, it doesn't matter, you pay. In the BBC, in Great Britain and the UK, you can opt out of it, I think. It's not that easy, but at least you can. Here in Germany, you just can't. And what is the political fallout now? What are the consequences? Well, as I said, here in Sachsen-Anhalt, the ruling coalition is a so-called Kenya coalition. That is Angela Merkel's cucked CDU. Well, at the moment not that cucked here, at least in this state, but generally they are. And they are under the governor, Mr. Haseloff. So first name not David, but they are in a coalition with the Green Party and the Social Democrats. So it's black, red, green. And the coalition partners, Social Democrats and Green Party, they of course want to vote in favor of this increase of the broadcasting fee, and that is why the coalition could break, actually, because the CDU, they want to hold their ground. They want to vote together with the AfD actually against this increase of the fee. And the CDU and the AfD, they have a clear majority. They're the two largest parties in the Landtag. And back then I already said, why don't these two parties actually form a coalition? Oh, by the way, here you can see the green citadel. It's this pink Well, it's not green at all. Well, there are some plants on it. Maybe that's why. But now in winter, it's not green, of course. It's more pink and brick and golden. So that is a modern architecture center, I would say. So I think there are houses and apartments in there, but also shops. Doesn't matter. 100 Wasser, I think. Yeah. Okay. So that's interesting architecture here. Where was I? So as I said, the coalition could actually break. The Social Democrats and the Green Party, they are threatening to leave the coalition. And next year in June, beginning of June, there are already new elections for the Landtag. So until then, maybe there is no coalition. And another thing has happened. Yesterday morning, actually, it was the Minister of the Interior of Sachsen-Anhalt, a man with the name of Stahlknecht. And he gave an interview that was apparently not coordinated with the governor, Haseloff. So what he said is that if bad comes to worse or push comes to shove, the CDU could also actually rule in a minority government without the SPD and without the Green Party. And that implies, of course, that would be tolerated by the AfD then. So they wouldn't form a government with the AfD, but they would be tolerated by the AfD. In the same way as in the Magdeburger Modell, the Social Democrats were tolerated by the party Die Linke, or PDS maybe at that point still, I don't know. So by the former Communist Party of Eastern Germany. Oh, that's Equal Opportunity Ministry, and Ministry for Justice and Equal Opportunity, so gender blah. Okay, very nice. And then Mr. Haseloff, the governor, he fired him after he gave that interview. So Mr. Stahlknecht is now no longer the Minister of the Interior after he gave that interview. And that just goes to show that there is infighting in the CDU over this, and there is a power struggle going on between Mr. Haseloff and Mr. Stahlknecht, and maybe with their respective entourage and their supporters. So there are at least two camps now. One that would, even though they don't openly say it, but it is very clear that they are very much in favor of the AfD, and they realize that they have much more in common with the German patriots than with anti-European, anti-German Green Party goons. And yeah, there is a power struggle, because Mr. Haseloff is, of course, loyal to Angela Merkel, and also Mr. Kretschmer, he also, from Saxony, he also made an appeal to the parliamentarians here in the Landtag of Magdeburg to please, pretty please vote in favor of this increase of the public broadcasting fee, and that you should never ever vote exactly like the AfD votes. So you cannot cooperate with them. This is dangerous, and Angela Merkel doesn't want that. And our foreign friends or handlers, they say friends, in reality they mean handlers, they don't like that either. So you can't do it. Yeah, this is the situation as of now. So Mr. Haseloff had to use force. He had to fire his own Minister for the Interior, who gave this unauthorized interview, uncoordinated interview. He just did that on his own, and he said basically that we could also rule in a minority government. He left out, he didn't openly say it, that would imply kind of being tolerated by the AfD, because of course the AfD is the only other party that is against this increase of the broadcasting fee. All right, so I like it here actually. It's a nice town. It's just a pity that it is rather cold. Well, that's not the worst thing. I'm okay with the cold actually, but the worst thing is that all the shops and booths are closed, and that there are no people here because they all stay at home like our government said they should. Okay. So there is already police in front of the Landtag, right now. An officer just stepped out of the building. Maybe he saw me with the camera, I don't know. But I'm not doing anything illegal or anything aggressive, so I'm just filming and talking. I think it's still allowed in Germany to do that. God, this is tacky. Oh my goodness. Anyway, yeah, these illuminations are clearly not to my taste. I don't know if that's a cop or if it's just security, but well, some kind of a uniform at least. Takes a smoke break only. Okay, so this is the situation right now in Magdeburg, the only state where the CDU is not entirely cucked and where they are actually going together or cooperating with the AfD on sparing us Germans another increase of the broadcasting fee. And there is one thing I want to show you though, as tacky as this is here, yeah, you see these 8 horses, 4 on each side, and these half spheres here that are, yeah, pulled apart here. That is a historical reference to a famous physics experiment that took place here. Yeah? Guericke, a very famous German physicist of the Renaissance, he lived here and he pioneered the field of pneumatics, or pneumatic we call it. I'm not sure how it's pronounced in English actually. Pneumatics maybe, yeah. So he invented, or he developed vacuum pumps, and he did experiments on vacuum and air pressure and all these things. He also built pressure sensors, barometers, by which he could predict bad weather, for example. So he predicted some kind of a storm that actually came then also, that made him really famous, and he made this important experiment. And I think you can, I didn't really say it, but I think you can already tell what this experiment was. There were these 2 big copper spheres, and he yeah, created a relative vacuum, so well, not a real vacuum, but of course just very low pressure in there, and then these spheres stuck together from the air pressure that was pressing on them from the outside. And these 8 horses were not able to pull these spheres apart. And then when he opened the valve and the air could go back in, then they just fell apart. And back then that was really impressive for people. Oh, I see there are already camera teams and people who interview people, but yeah, so that was an impressive experiment back then. And yeah, the university here is also named after him. But yeah, maybe I say a little more about Magdeburg in another video. I will go into the cathedral now, and I think politically there is not much more to say. I think I said my piece. So once again, Minister of the Interior fired, and CDU still saying that they will not vote in favor, and the pressure on them will of course increase now. And let's see, I haven't checked my phone, maybe they already they already surrendered, but I'm not sure. It would be hard for them to save face when they easily give in to the pressure now. Okay, that's it from my part. I will take some more pictures and also take some more videos from beautiful Magdeburg. Servus, Kameraden.